And
actually, we need to get started because we got things to do.
yeah, I was kind of waiting for Sarah, but I just texted her the link. I guess I'll get on here pretty soon.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for coming to the webinar presentation. As many of you know that Kathy and I are trying to support a team. We've referred a number of people ourselves, and now the people that we referred are getting so busy, and they're bringing on so many new people that we're standing by to help them. And we do that by providing different things that people can use as tools. And we have a YouTube channel for everybody. On there we put the radio shows that we produce. And we also have a generic web page that everybody can use. It's called joinbitcoinclub.com. You can send anybody over there. There's no capture, there's no tracking or anything like that. It's just information so that you can help others get to know what we do and what we're talking about. If you need to contact us, you can get a hold of us here through Skype all the time. There's a Skype address there. But we're going to ask you, if we don't know you, who referred you, because we really are trying to support a team. We get contacted quite a bit about looking into all these other kind of Bitcoin programs out there, and we just have the best thing going. And it's real. We don't have any doubts about it. It's really performed for the last 4 years. It's got a 4-year track record coming up in October, and there's just nothing else out there that we want to even talk about. Bitclub Network is a Facebook page, and we ask people that are members to go ahead and add their friends and family in there so that when they say, I want more information, I want to know how do I get started, what do I do, we know exactly who to refer them to. And it makes it easy because your name is attached to the fact in the membership list that you invited them. Isn't that cool? We make every effort to ensure that we accurately represent the products and services of Bitclub and the potential for economic gain. Earnings or Bitcoin cash flow statements made by the company or members are estimates of what you could possibly receive. There's no guarantee that you will make these levels of Bitcoin, and you accept the risk that the earnings and Bitcoin income possibilities differ by individual. The examples are not to be interpreted as any guarantee, promise, representation, or assurance. We do not purport Bitclub as being a get-rich-quick scheme. It certainly isn't. Now, first coin happened in 2009 was really the first commercial transaction occurred, and boy, the rest is history. And a lot of you guys have heard about it already. You know what's going on out there. It's just the way that we can do currency person to person. It's not money. It is Bitcoin. And we don't do anything with currencies. We don't deal with dollars. We don't deal with pesos or anything like that. Everything is strictly involving a Bitcoin, which is a form of property. It's not really money. But it's a safe, fast, and honest way to transfer value from point A to point B in any place on the planet. We had the opportunity to prove that too, because we had some friends that got really run over by a Category 5 hurricane down in Australia, and everything was just wiped out. They didn't expect it to come that way, and all of a sudden the hurricane made a left turn and went right over them, just like it was looking for them. Wiped them out. So they found a farmer, had a generator, got their cell phone going, contacted us, and we sent them a Bitcoin instantaneously. We could hear the ping from our computer go right to their computer, and boy, were they happy, because they took that Bitcoin and they were able to trade it for Aussie dollars, and they were able to get goods and services that they need to start recovery. So anybody can set up an account because there's really no age limit. You just download a wallet, and you're in. That's all there is to it. There's no fees, no chargebacks created by Bitcoin itself, and there are no borders. Bitcoin here is as good as a Bitcoin anywhere, and that's really a fantastic thing, because I always say people need to be ready to take a vacation, an extended vacation at a moment's notice. With all the natural disasters going on, the fires, earthquakes, volcanoes, just stuff all over the place, you just never know when you have to go. And it's great that you can take your finances with you in your pocket without any worry about losing them or anybody taking them from you. It's a pretty important concept. In 2014, there were $54 billion in fees paid of people trying to move money around the planet. That's a lot of money that came out of our pockets and going to these bank institutions just to move money around the planet. We don't need to do that anymore. Let me turn that video off over there. Alrighty, I think it's off. Anyway, I minimized it. The banks, we don't need them. This is truly a bank extinction event. Now, how does it work? Well, we're a miner. What does a miner do? A miner is a company that has their organization. That's what we are, really, is some kind of a loosely cooperative where we're all cooperating together with our machines. And we create and maintain and secure the network. And that's what you do. And in that process, we compete with all the other miners in the world against all the transactions every 10 minutes to place the next block in what they call the blockchain. Blockchain is nothing more than a form of a database, which is a book. It's a ledger. And that ledger is decentralized. It is on all these hundreds of thousands of computers all around the planet. And then during this processing, after we win the award by solving the mathematical problems that are required in order to generate the right to place that block, we get an award of Bitcoin. Now, when they first started, back in 2009, it was 50 Bitcoin. And that lasted for 4 years. And this was the incentive for people to go ahead and set up the mining operations. Now, after the first 4 years, it cut in half and it was 25 Bitcoin. In July of 2016, it cut in half again and now 12.5 Bitcoin, and that's the current award today. In 2020, it's going to cut in half again and it's going to be 6.25 Bitcoin. The whole point here is that the release of Bitcoin into the marketplace is deflationary. And that's what's represented by that line that's going down there. You know what? I forgot to turn off the old Skype here. Let's close that down. Every time there's a little pop-up there, it's a little distraction, isn't it? All right, let's get back on case. Okay, so every time we get an award, it's 12.5 Bitcoin. Now, it's deflationary. The black line represents the adoption rate. And with that price, because as more and more people are interested in using it, the adoption rate goes up, but the Bitcoin is being released. So there's fewer and fewer pieces of Bitcoin available per capita of the people that are interested in using it. And that creates scarcity, and that creates an increase in the pricing structure. People are willing to use it, want to use it, and they're willing to pay for it in order to use it. Now, there'll only be 21 million Bitcoins ever mined. This is hard-coded. It can't be changed. And the last coin will be mined in the year 2140. And some people say 21 million coins. That's not enough for 7.5 billion people on the planet. Well, this is mathematics. Remember, Bitcoin is really a mathematical software formula that creates an electronic property that we can actually control and treat as an entity. And it can be divisible by 100 million pieces. So 100 million times 21 million is 21 trillion pieces of Bitcoin, a microbit. And if each microbit was worth 1 penny, USD penny, the coin would be worth $1 million right now. So when you think about it, there's 7.5 billion people on the planet, but we don't even have 1 trillion people on the planet yet, let alone 21 trillion. So there's more than enough Bitcoin to go around. Now, what's so special about the Bitclub? Well, the main thing about the Bitclub is that there's 3 basic ways in order to do mining. One is, and this is the way it started, people set up their own little machines, and in the early days, it could be even these little Raspberry computers, all connected together on a tabletop, doing the mining process. Now, one thing I didn't mention that I should is that the way the network is secured is something called gossip technology. All of the computers that are out there that are on the network, once a block has been placed, they talk to one another, verifying that they have the same information as all the others. Because if there's any one piece of information that's not correct, that's not a valid transaction, and it is discarded. And that's the way it's secured. And it's a permanent record once it's placed into the chain. Now, if you're doing the mining on your own, you've got to have a good machine. Generally, you can't get a current version of one of the machines. You're getting older technology. It's expensive to run. It makes a lot of noise. It's hot. You got to cool it. And you just don't have enough hash power to compete with all of the large miners around the planet anymore. It's just too big. And the other second way is called cloud mining. And that's where a company sets up a whole bunch of computers, and you go and buy time on those computers. You can buy their hash rate, the speed with which the computer operates to generate Bitcoin. And in times when Bitcoin prices are very high, it can be very profitable to do one of those kind of companies. But most of them are going out of business right now because they just cannot compete with the larger organizations, especially like ours, because ours is very large and it's growing very rapidly. Now, what Bitclub did was something very special. You see, in the prior 2 methods, the individual mining or the cloud mining operations, you constantly have to keep coming up with money out of your pocket. That's the thing they didn't want to do. So they want to design an operation in which people could work together to pool their money, be able to buy their machines, and pay one time for every contract that they put in place. But that would also perpetually mine into the future, but you didn't have to come up with any money out of your pocket. Has this been successful? Extraordinarily so. And proof is in the pudding. When they started in October of 2014, started as 0 mining, Now they have more than 1.25 million contracts running. They've got over 8,000 people a day registering to join the club, and it is just growing by leaps and bounds. In fact, that we've gotten so big and so well known, so successful, that we have many technologies that are coming out. People are bringing their technologies to the club and asking us to join with us, and so we can actually market them through our base of miners. It's just growing. The potential opportunities here are unbelievable for people in order to secure their futures. So how does this work here? Well, the way the Bitclub did it was they created an algorithm called a repurchase agreement. And anytime that you get a mining of Bitcoin that's equal to 5% of your pool value. So if you have a $500 pool, 5% of that pool value is $25. Every time you get $25 worth of Bitcoin, you have a choice. You can take that Bitcoin and you can do something with it, spend it, put it in a cash account, whatever you want to do with it, or you can buy a partial share. And these partial shares are represented by the little b's here. So the big B's beget the little b's. Now, whenever you accumulate 20 partial shares, because it's based on 5%, 20 times 5 is always 100. That's 100%. That's a whole new share. So you start off mining with a certain amount of mining power on your share. Then it creates another mining power. Now you got 2 shares mining for you. Those 2 shares then create a third share in half the time it took to get the second share. Now those 3 shares generate a 4th share, the 4th share generates a 5th share, and the 5 shares generate a 6th share. And then by that time, the curve on a graph begins to accelerate and go straight up as it's compounding. It never stops. The initial contract that you started with after 1,000 days expires, but you've got all these other partial shares that add up to full shares that increase and perpetually run your mining operation. As long as you have partial shares in there operating, your mining will go on in perpetuity. It's phenomenal. And that's one of the reasons why I said it's so successful. Now, there are some opposing views. Some people say, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go invest in stocks. Have you seen the stock market prices lately? It's going way, way up. Yeah, but you don't understand the market forces behind it. It's going to come down. There's nothing in reality that justifies the price-earning ratios on those stocks based upon what's going on in those companies. The earnings aren't there, so there's something else going on there. And mostly it's people fleeing the bond market because the bond market is so big, it's 3 times the size of the stock market, and the countries are defaulting on their bonds. It's amazing what's going on if you start watching closely. Some other people say, listen, I'm going to do that. I don't want to get in the mine. I'm going to trade. I'm going to go learn how to be a trader. People are getting really rich doing trading. That's what I want to do. I want to trade. Boy, oh boy. What? These guys lose more money than they know what they're doing. They think this is just easy. This thing is kind of an art, and you're glued to that computer, and you got a real long learning curve. And is that what you want to do with your life? Sit in front of a computer all day long? I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And why? You don't need to, because you've got a lot of risks there, and people lose a lot of money. Now, if you're good at it, it turns out that you've got a knack for doing it. Great, more power to you. Congratulations, I think it's fantastic. What most people just can't do it. There's just no way. Others say, I'm just going to go get some gold and silver. Okay, but that's old technology. It's not going to work today the way we live and the way we do things. You can't really use it. I mean, a lot of people think that, well, if things get really bad, I'll just use gas. I'll go down to the gas station and I'll get gas with my gold. Well, how are they going to take it? How do they even know what to do with it? A lot of people haven't even seen any stuff like that. They have no way to deal with it. And if you've got a bunch of gold in your pocket and you've got all these people standing around, they're all starving, they need money for food and stuff, you think they might try to take it from you once they know you got it? I don't know about you guys, but I was in the gasoline shortages in 1975, and it was not a pretty sight. I mean, the arguments, the fighting, the cars ramming into each other, I mean, it was really a mess. Last thing you want to be is flashing a bunch of gold and silver down there trying to buy gasoline or groceries or anything like that, because it's not, you're not safe. It's just no way to use the stuff. And if you had to leave in a hurry at a moment's notice, like I'm talking about, have you ever picked up $5,000 worth of silver, tried to carry it with you? It's heavy. You can't carry that stuff. Man, you couldn't carry the kid. I mean, I see parents running around with these backpacks with all the kids in them, or kind of on the front, and you're going to grab the silver, you're going to do that, and then you're going to try to carry the kid and everything else that you got to get out of there in a hurry. Because, when they come up and say, you got to go, you got to go. And it's very difficult to maintain wealth with you. They'll kind of take it from you. You'll never get across the border with it either. With Bitcoin, you got no problems. So some people say, well, I'm just going to buy Bitcoins. Okay, that's not a bad idea because they're going to go up in value. And right now you can buy whole Bitcoins. That's not going to be the case in the future. And that's becoming a very quick future. But there are two situations which arise when you just buy and hold the coins. They don't grow. That what you got is what you got. You don't have any more. And there's no way to get more. And what happens is the price of the coin is going to go way up. If you're reading anything about this, if you're studying anything that's going on, the projections on the value of the coins are as high as $1 trillion a coin. When people see that price go way up, what's going to happen is they're going to get emotional about it. They're going to get scared, and they're going to think, oh my gosh, how am I going to protect that? I could lose all that. That's more money than I've ever seen in my life. I'm rich. They're going to sell it, and then they're out. You're going to have a good time with the money. You're going to enjoy what you're doing with it, but you won't be able to get any more and get back in. The other problem that happens is that people kind of get attached to their little nest egg, and they don't want to touch it. Even if they should, maybe they need to rearrange it so that they pass it to their family so that most of the assets get to the family, but they don't do it. It seems like they just are, they got the security blanket idea that it's there if it's just going to take care of them if they really need it. They die, and I've seen it. The courts and the inheritance process destroys the estate, and the next thing you know, the kids didn't get as much as the parents thought they were going to give them. And, that's it. It just gets dispersed. It doesn't go any further. So what's the real answer here? The real answer is to get the goose that lays that golden egg so that you've got golden eggs coming in all the time. That way you're not going to be afraid to use some of it, and it's going to be able to replenish itself so that you're going to have a persistent income in Bitcoin. That's what you want. That's what the club provides. And has it been very successful? As I said, there's over 8,000 people a day trying to get into this club. There's more coming. Now, I want to prove to you that the value of the coin is going to go up because it's based on the capitalized value of the amount of money that's running through the network. So Amazon had $89 billion in sales in 2014. They paid $2.6 billion in fees. Now, eliminating those cards that they charge those fees, they all of a sudden have increased their net profit. They doubled it, more than doubled it, and they can reduce prices because that $2.6 billion comes into their pocket. It doesn't go into the pocket of the banks anymore. Well, that $89 billion running through the network would generate an increase in the price of Bitcoin by $6,300. So if you're looking at a coin right now that's running over $7,000, you're looking at a $15,000 coin just with that one change. And that change will be dramatic. It seems slow at first, and then it just, you just got to think about it. How many people in the 80s and earlier were using lots of debit and credit cards? They weren't. It was real resistance. It took a long time for people to adopt that technology. But that's not what's going to happen this time. This technology is going to be adopted very quickly. It's going to seem like it's just creep, 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 creep. There's a hidden economy out there that's being built around Bitcoin that you just can't see right now. And all of a sudden, it's going to show up, and it's going to be like, oh, it's always been here. It's coming. Now, in 2014, there were $54 billion in fees paid because of the $600 billion that was being moved around the planet from country to country. Anytime you're going across the border, it costs you a lot more money, and it costs a lot of delay. Well, we just proved that we can eliminate that just by sending funds thousands and thousands of miles away in the blink of an eye to people across the planet that needed it. We didn't have to get any permissions. And if you think it's just easy to send funds through a banking system to other countries, man, you got to get a clue. Go down to Walmart, go to their money center, and just walk in and ask them, say, I want to send $10,000 to Russia. How much is that going to cost me? I want to send $30,000 to Argentina. Boy, they'd love to have some money down there right now. Their inflation rate is huge. You can't send $30,000 down there. They limit it. These countries and these banking systems, just crazy. But you see, when you're using a Bitcoin, all of that stuff disappears. You don't have any of that hassle. This is private use of something that people are adopting and using because nobody owns it. It's just in the public domain, and you can use it if you want to use it. Well, that $600 billion flowing through the network would increase the price of a coin over $42,000. Now you're talking about a coin that's running right around $65,000. It's just incredible. Look at all the gasoline. You're already using digital money. Gasoline cost us $234 billion. That money running through the network would also increase it by $34,000. Well, now you're pushing a $100,000 coin just like that. You think it's worth owning some of this stuff? I do. How much do you want? How about as much as you can get for the foreseeable future? What's the best way to get it? Get the goose that lays the golden egg. Look, we haven't even considered the amount of money that's into the gambling. You think there's a lot of money in gambling? Have you looked at all the casinos that are around? Indian casinos? Every state seems to have their own casinos operations now. It used to be there was Las Vegas and Atlantic City, and Monte Carlo, and that was it. Now it's everywhere. Well, it's online too. Not only that, there are people that play these other games, Farmville, Zooville, stuff like that. And I know a guy that spent $60,000 just on tokens to play some of these games. That's incredible, incredible. Now, look at all these industries that we haven't talked about. All of this money is going to begin flowing through the network because it's good for them to do it. It's easier, it's faster, and we don't have to deal with the banking system. That is pretty much how to lock on everything we do. This KYC and AML, anti-money laundering stuff, really is supposed to be a protection for us, but really what it does is it takes ordinary people and predisposes them to be criminals, and our overlords have to watch what we're doing all the time. Those days are over. That is gone, and it can't happen too soon for me. But there's even a bigger component than the money flowing around right now. It's the 2.5 billion people on the planet that have absolutely no banking anywhere, and they have no hope of getting any banking. That's over too. And this is going to be the biggest thing going, because right now a lot of the Western countries are very much concerned about Bitcoin, and because it threatens their system. They like their system. They want to keep their system. We don't like it, and we don't want to keep it. So they're trying to say Bitcoin can't succeed without regulation. Well, where were you when it was started? Where are you now when we're operational? All you're doing is trying to stop it. So a lot of people in different countries can't do their products. They can't create new ones. They can't work on technology. And I know I read a letter that was sent to the UK government that said we want a 150-year moratorium on regulation dealing with digital currencies, especially cryptocurrencies. And because nobody knows exactly how this is going to implement and exactly what's going to happen with it. And they can't do it if there's regulation. That's the main point. So the powers that be say we need regulation to control it. That's what's really going on, because they want to keep control of us. It shouldn't be that way. It never was that way before. You remember, transactions were person to person. When you did something and you want some cow from somebody, you paid for it with whatever you had. Gold was very much involved. Silver was very much involved. Everything was a person-to-person transaction. You didn't need to know who they were. Should they have the money? Yeah, give me the money and take the cow. It was that simple. Well, we're going back to that system again. And now, right now, in these third world countries, where they've had a lot of depression because of the banks have come down and says, we're here to help you. We're going to give you bridges. We're going to give you roads. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And what they do is they bankrupt them and they take all of their resources. So now the countries have a very hard time coming out of this hole that they've all been put in. Well, see, that's all being repaired now. For example, we have a friend down in Peru and Cusco. He's helping an Indian tribe develop an economy because they're very poor down there. It's a poor country, and they're trying to develop stuff. So now one of the Indians can create these incredible little colorful artworks, and they can sell them online, right, to anybody in the planet. You know what? Somebody over in Europe can buy one of these things, and they can pay the guy instantly with Bitcoin right there on his phone, because everything works on the phone. They don't have computers, they don't have tablets, but they got phones. Everything works on the phone. So now you'd think he's ever going to give that up. Well, the people that are running these emerging countries, they don't want to give it up. They say, hey, boys, if you're not wanted over there, you're wanted down here. Come on down here, because those people that wrote that letter to the UK government, they said clearly, if you don't leave us alone, we're going to go someplace where we're wanted. We're not going to stay here and develop these technologies here. So you're going to have a brain drain in your country. And that's exactly what's going on. It's happening just as faster than I even thought. I never imagined the little country of Malta would start passing crypto-friendly legislation as fast as it's been going. And it's been going like light speed. I think they've passed 3 or 4 laws very positive to it. Just incredible what's going on. The more you learn about this, the more excited you get. Now, how's the whole thing really work? We have software companies, because Bitcoin's really software. Works with the hardware companies to create the mining process, and the mining companies do that. Then the coin is generated, and you have to put it into a custodial place to hold it. That's a wallet, we'll call a wallet. And then if you want to buy, sell, or exchange, you go to an exchange, transfer your coin to an exchange, and you buy, sell, do whatever you want to do with it, trade it. And all of these little companies that you see here are representative of that company and that expansion of the marketplace that you're not seeing yet. Now remember, Japan declared it a legal currency in 2017 in July 1, and 260,000 merchants signed up the very day they did that to do it. And it's been going gangbusters ever since. We know because we have a lot of members from Japan that are involved with what we're doing here. Now, because everything works on the phone, one of the first technologies that the Bitclub is releasing is called CoinPay. CoinPay is a merchant settlement system designed to compete directly against Visa and MasterCard and any of the other international cards out there. Because we can eliminate the bank completely for any merchant. So you go to the merchant, you say, how would you like to expand your business and your marketing at almost no cost? You could open it up and take cryptocurrencies for payment of your goods and services. Now, the merchant just wants to get his goods and services out there. He wants people to buy them. People with coins want to use the coins. So they can come in and do this and pay with their phone. Now, if you want an example of how that's going to work, if you go to Starbucks and you watch people pay for their coffee with their phone, they just put it down on the reader and done, QR code. Same with getting on an airplane. Your boarding pass is right on your phone. You just put that on the card, the reader, and there you go, you're in. Same thing with this. The merchant provides a QR code. The phone reads it, makes the payment. Merchant gets the coin, but the system changes it to whatever the merchant wants because he's in control. He can set it in the back office of this program. And if he wants dollars, it instantly pays him dollars. It does not go through a bank. He does not have to wait 30 to 40 days in order to get paid from the bank, and he never knows if the bank's going to pay him. He doesn't know if the contract's going to be changed. He doesn't know if the bank is going to hold some of the money. He's always playing a guessing game. And in the meantime, his goods and services are gone, and he hasn't been paid for it. That's over. Anybody who sets up one of these accounts gets half of the 1% charged by CoinPay. And that then goes in through the network. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, to join the Bitclub, it's a $99 one-time membership fee, and then you pick a pool. Now, we have one position called a founder position, but there's 3 components to it. Inside the founder's position are 3 of these pools here. Pool number 1 is $500, pool number 2 is $1,000, and pool number 2 is $2,000. And pool number 2 mines twice what pool number 1 does, and pool number 3 mines 4 times what pool number 1 does. You can buy any of these in combination, or if you buy all 3 together and you become a founder, doesn't matter whether you buy them in pieces or you buy them all at one time, you now get a bonus of 1,000 shares of that CoinPay company I just talked about. That is going to be sold in the future for a multi-billion-dollar price tag, and they'll sell it. And if you have the shares, you will be able to participate in the profit. If you don't have the shares, well, it's okay. You're still going to get a piece of it, because one of the things that the guys have said is this, that everybody who's a member of Bitclub is going to participate in some way in every technology. So whether you go out there and you talk to people about CoinPay or not is not material. You are still going to get, as a member, somewhere along the payment schedule, a piece of that profit from that organization. It's just that it could be so much more if you had the founder positions, right? Plus you mine a lot more too. Okay, let's open it up and see if anybody has any questions or anything they want to talk about, Kath.
All right, thank you very much. And we have a lot of new guests in the house tonight.
Fantastic.
So what I would like to do first is, we have a lot of members here. So I'd like you to give just maybe 1 or 2 minutes of what drew you to the Bitclub and what you've seen and what you're doing with it. And if we forgot any details tonight, fill those in too.
Yeah, please. I don't remember everything.
Yeah, so can we start with Michelle Burns, you're right up there. Oh, Steve White's right there too. He's got his hand up.
Oh, fantastic.
Go ahead, Steve. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Kathy. I tell you, when I first saw this opportunity, what I saw was something I can make money in my sleep. Nothing like passive residual income. And that's the thing I love about this thing, is where you can do the work one time and you continually get paid over and over and over again. And I do sell insurance, and let me tell you, it's not like that. You got to be out there hustling and grinding every single day just to get paid. And it doesn't have that residual income like this has.
That's right. You buy a pool and you get paid on that pool for life. One paid. And it just,
And that, if you also build an organization, you get paid a whole lot more too.
Well, yeah, because you get commissions. Because when you refer somebody, they buy machines, and you get a commission for the referral. And then you also get a part of their mining as a residual. It's pretty cool.
There's about 7 different ways to get paid in this, and it's just amazing. It's we are so pleased that we found this club. There has never been anything like this out there ever before in the world.
One of the reasons we're really happy about that is because we lost a lot of Bitcoin trying all these other shiny programs. That's why we don't even want to talk about them anymore.
It's a learning process.
But what we like is the transparency, the real transparency of this club. You can go straight to the blockchain itself and look up, and you can see the pie chart on that blockchain. And you can see Bitclub, what they're doing, what they're mining, the blocks they mine per day. You can go right into their back office, which is the bank account, see how much they've mined. 100% of all mining earnings comes back to us and us members. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because the mining's free. And people just say, how can you do that? Well, you own the machines. And a machine's nature is to generate Bitcoin. We turn it on, it generates Bitcoin. Turn it off, it stops. We never turn them on when they get going. They run and run and run until we wear them out. And so that all comes back to you, and there's no additional charges for distribution. When the coin comes in, it gets distributed to everybody because they're all owners in the program. Pretty slick. Yeah.
All right. I see Miss Michelle and MJ in here tonight. Do you ladies, either one of you want to say a few things to our guests?
Hello.
Hey, Miss Michelle.
Well, hello there.
Aloha.
Aloha. I believe MJ's in the house too. Yeah, she's always great to come up. You know, I love this. It's like an opportunity. And it's like we all, people here in the Bitclub network, it's like we strike gold, you know. I mine 24 hours 7, and we definitely know where it's going in the next 2-3 years. And it is definitely an opportunity. It's just like if somebody had told you about Microsoft. I mean, look at it now. I mean, Bitcoin is going to be bigger than the internet. And just by joining and get other people out there, we don't want to keep it a secret. You got to tell people out there, because I feel so bad if they don't know, you know. So we're here to help out. If you have any questions, please, this is the opportunity. I know there's new members in here. This is a great opportunity to say, you know, if you guys have any questions, and you can't say the wrong thing, you know. So.
Well, you know what? It's not us saying that it's going to grow. It are people like experts like Andreas Antonopoulos.
Oh, all over the world. Yeah.
Who explain what's going on with this and how it's happening and how it's being adopted. So when we say that this is a great opportunity, you know, that's our belief. But the thing is they've got a 4-year track record and it's been nothing but positive. Nobody loses money here.
No one person has ever lost a penny here.
Nope.
Not one.
They've eliminated the downside risk. And why is that? Well, from an investment kind of standpoint of view, once you own the machine, it pays you back because it generates the money. It's kind of like buying a cow and you want to sell all the milk, right? You can pay, the cow can pay for itself just by what it produces. Only, unfortunately, we have to, you know, get some calves out of the cow and then probably cut it up and eat it. But that stops it. See, it doesn't work anymore. But see, the machines,
Bitcoin cows.
We don't do that. We don't eat them. They don't stop.
All right. We have Miss Santana. I bet I did not pronounce that right.
Santana. Actually, that's the last name. The H for Andy. Y'all can call me Andy.
Ah, okay, Andy. Welcome. How are you doing this evening?
Doing great. Long time listener. Actually, first time on the call. I invited some of my people
Oh
today
my
too.
God,
So
you are a
All
longtime listener,
right.
first time caller. Wow, I
yeah,
never thought I'd hear that. I hear it on the radio
That's
all the time, these
fantastic.
college shows.
All right.
I never heard that here
So
before.
we welcome your guests as well.
You are an original, man.
yeah. Actually, I got into this through Jeff Berwick and Joby Weeks, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yep.
what I want to chime in with was that as a musician, I'm a musician. I play mariachi music for a living.
All right.
That's how I put bread on the table. Uh, so with this big club opportunity, I feel like it's a great way for us to make that extra money that sometimes, as a musician is not always stable income. So, I think with this big club network, it's a great opportunity. Not only that, if you pay attention as a musician, there's no really no healthcare, no retirement plans available. So I think this is like the perfect opportunity for us, as musicians. And I've already started
I've been
taking.
saying that for a long time. I've been saying that I want to get into Nashville and some other places because there's an awful lot of
Get those musicians involved.
yeah.
Absolutely. I see a drummer in the house, and I know that, well, he didn't make a lot of money. I
Well, I didn't
raised a
either when
choir
I was
here
playing.
tonight. So, yeah, get out there and educate all the musicians about Bitcoin and what it can do for you. It can help you produce all that music that's sitting there in a corner that you've never had the funds to get out to the world. I mean, it's a game changer. It really is.
Well, listen, there's a book now. There's a new book out called The Bitcoin Standard. And I like to use books and authorities that understand what's going on. And this guy is a world-renowned economist. And his last name is Ammous, Ammous, and he's been on the talk shows lately. And this is what he says on his book cover, Sarah. Just one sentence. It says, Bitcoin is emerging as the decentralized, politically neutral, free market alternative to central banks with potentially enormous implications for individual freedom and prosperity. I'm telling you, these guys know what they're talking about because they're there on the trenches all the time dealing with this stuff every day. But we are unique in that you can come in and you're not limited into the number of pools that you can get involved in. You can refer as many people as you want. There's unlimited growth right now in this program, but it is not a forever thing in terms of new people coming. Because at some point, the price of Bitcoin is going to get really, really high. By that time, it's going to be a worldwide adoption rate. You either get in now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys,
So what I would like to see is you make a living on this full time and then come to entertain us with that mariachi band. We'll have a fiesta.
Yeah, you
Oh,
playing. You're playing for free, right? You got plenty of funds coming in. Now you're playing to have a good time.
There you go.
yeah. Probably put some tip jars out there with a Bitcoin address, and whoever wants to, volunteer some of their funds on there. That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
And
Mariachi Beat Club Network.
then when you get old and you get
Peer to
arthritis in
peer,
those fingers.
decentralized. Yeah, peer to peer and decentralized. It's all about people helping people, own own their money so nobody else can take it away from them. You own this once you're
That's a
in.
fact.
Yeah. So, all
hey
right, I
guys,
heard another voice in there. Who was that?
hey,
MJ. Hey, how you doing
hey,
tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good, good. Couldn't be better.
Hey, I'm really glad that Michelle touched on Microsoft because when I was a baby, my mom wanted to invest in a really cool company. It was a little startup when we were in California, and my dad shut the door really hard on her, and it wasn't too long after that initial investment opportunity that IBM became a household name.
Oh,
A few years later, I was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, and we relocated up to the Washington state area. And my mom, again, went to my dad and said, there's this great company, little, startup, and I think it's got great, potential. And of course, my dad didn't want to take his investment advice from my mom, who was a stay-at-home mom. And we all know that Microsoft is a household name and has been for like the last 20 years.
Oh
So-
yeah, and what we have here, it's like the John. How do you word that? It's like the railroad and the
This is like the Microsoft of our current time now, but you know, just like anything else, just like when Amazon began, just like when Facebook had their initial stock offering or
yeah.
whatever.
It's an opportunity of
There's
a lifetime. It
limited,
really is, and we have, like Russ says, we have 3 to 5 years to really gather as much
right.
Bitcoin as we possibly can.
And I mean, we see that. I've had people, well, Bitcoin is down now, and I'm like, well, but overall, from when we first bought, I don't know, a little bit over a year ago, Bitcoin's like 6 times what it was when we first got in.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
So,
came in. When did we come in? Probably 2 years ago, and it was at 700, and
Well,
now it's
yeah.
about
Well, it
7,300
seems like
today.
2 years ago, but I think it was
Maybe.
February of 17, wasn't
Yeah, something like that.
it? Not that long ago.
It wasn't, yeah, 2 years, and 700 to 7,000. I don't get that kind of interest from my bank. I don't know about y'all.
right, not at all.
Okay. If we have any new guests that would like to ask any questions, please go scroll down to the bottom of the page, see participants, click on it. You'll see your name and you can just unmute yourself. Or you can type in the chat box if you're shy. Okay. Until I see some hands pop up there, let's have some more members come forth. And what attracted you to this? What are you doing? What do you see? Are you excited about this, or Miss Dusty's in the house? Let's pick on her.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
ma'am.
Yes.
How you doing tonight?
Well, I've been spending time with the grandkids and my daughters. It's been birthday after birthday. Today's my grandson's second birthday, and God bless
Happy
him.
birthday, baby.
Yeah, he gave me his cold, so I might sound a little harsh and rough around the edges, but I'm doing okay otherwise. Bitclub to me is my saving grace. There's so many things that just brought me to it. I mean, I don't even
Well,
know
give
where
them
to
a little
start.
background. You're doing international business. I mean, you're working with
I do a
China.
lot
You're
of
right.
international business, and there's just so many things going on. The fees I pay with the banks, and the banks will only allow you to transfer X amount of dollars. And, like John said earlier, if I need to, transfer $30,000, I'm going to have everybody looking at me and asking me why, and telling me it's going to cost you. And I have to sign waivers and papers through the bank, and it's none of their business. It's my money. And with Bitcoin, it'd be instantaneous, and I wouldn't have to go through all the hassles and everything else.
No,
Yeah,
it's done.
absolutely.
Instantaneously.
I mean,
Instantaneously.
it's perpetual money, right?
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It just saves everything. It's digital. It's paperless.
You gave a quote the other day that was something about gold is God's money. How's the rest of it go?
Yes. So gold is God's money. Our regular paper money, that's the government's money. It's not ours. We don't own it. It's theirs. But Bitcoin is the people's money.
Yep, I agree with that.
Amen.
I mean,
Yep.
plain and simple. God put gold on the earth, and that's his money. And the government has the paper bills and the paper coins and all this other
And the
garbage.
control of the people.
And they have full control over it. They can take it away from you anytime they want. You go to
And
the
they
airport.
do.
Yeah, you go to the airport and you got it in your pocket. You can take it. Yeah.
That's really good, because I saw a quote. I saw a quote that I like a lot, and that is that how much of what you own can be at any moment affected by a government decision and taken from anywhere on the planet, by government anywhere. Do you know that they changed the rules on websites and privacy rules in the EU, and it's affected every single website on the planet? That's another good reason because they can't take the private money from you. They can't take the Bitcoin. It's not theirs. They can't control it.
No, they can take your cell phone, but you can get another one.
Right. That's for sure.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of cell phones, they've got one that they're coming out with for Bitclub network members. That's pretty awesome. We just heard about that over the weekend. It's encrypted. It's amazing. We're going to hear more and more about that. We don't have all the details, but keep an eye out, because as Bitclub members, we get a lot of these perks that they're coming out with: the coin pay, the cell phone, the debit card. The list goes on, and it just keeps getting better and better every day. All right, we have Miss Tanya. Thank you, Dusty.
Welcome.
I'll unmute you, Tanya.
Okay.
How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. I was actually just going to ask a question for Kathy, or for Karen, and for Eclant. The question was, why only mine Bitcoin?
We don't. We
Well-
mine Bitcoin. We mine Ethereum. We mine Monero, and we mine
Zcash.
what else? Zcash.
Yeah, we do altcoin mining, but let's be very clear. There is no need for them. There's no rational reason that you have to have them. Bitcoin is the one and only coin that is digitally encrypted and is totally decentralized and completely limited. There will never be any more than 21 million. All of these other coins, you may be able to make some money on the market trading with them right now, but it's a holdover concept from the idea that every country has to have its own currency. So people have taken that idea and said, well, we need a currency for dentists. We need one for iron workers. We need one for lawyers. We need one for banks. No, see, this is going to be an idea whose time probably not going to be a lot of altcoins, because you really don't need them. If you read Amusa's book, he explains it very clearly as to why what you really want to get your hands on is Bitcoin. Do not waste time with the altcoins. They're always going to be here. There's not going to be the opportunity to get Bitcoin at this price and through the mining operation as many as you can get forever. That's going to disappear in a very few short years. Do not waste time with these other coins. They'll always be there if you want to buy some in the future, and if you've got the Bitcoin, you can buy anything you want. So we concentrate strictly us. You can go mine the other coins and play with those guys if you want to, but I'm not touching anything with Bitcoin. That's all I want. That's all you need.
Right now, you want to get your hands on as much Bitcoin as you can, because it is scarce. It's not to say that we're not going to be mining for the rest of our lives, because we still, even after the last Bitcoin's mined in, what is that, 2040?
2140. I'll be 192 years old.
Yeah, I have a big birthday and mariachi band over there.
Oh, a big one.
But, we're going to still be mining. People are going to do transactions. They do thousands and thousands of transactions every day. People buying and selling different goods and wares.
But the price of Bitcoin is going to be so high that the entry level and the ability to accumulate Bitcoin is going to be very low.
Right. Okay. And I was just going to add, working with you guys is like a total blessing. You guys offer so much support to everyone here, and you guys are totally selfless with your time, and you basically lead the way for us to do everything the best way we can, and I just feel like we are all super lucky to have you guys here. So
hey, we're certainly lucky to have you, and we try to stay out of your way.
Thank you. And yeah, that's what it's all about. People helping people. And we're doing this full time. And, just reach out to us. We'll help you do three-way calls or whatever. And y'all know how to get a hold of us, because it's been sitting there staring us in the face all night, that purple screen there. So, but thank you. And we appreciate you. You are just tearing this up. And we love working with people that just get it. They just get it. The light goes on, and they're helping other people that they care about through this program.
It's like seeing your kids walk for the first time.
Fly, be free.
Well, it is. I mean, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks again. That was all I was going to mention. And
Well, thanks, Tanya. That was a lot. Okay, let's wrap it up. We've been going about an hour, and I think we've answered everybody's questions.
We have
I
Michael
appreciate the
that
comments.
popped in. Michael, do you have any words of wisdom? Parting words of wisdom here.
I'm just walking right now, learning how to walk. Can you hear me?
Can you walk
Yeah.
and chew Bitcoin at the same time? I just
I
saw a
did. I
post
had-
today that somebody, I guess Walmart's coming out with chocolate Bitcoins. We'll have to get
that
those.
was I'm trying to get a bunch of the gold ones, see if we can get a good price for people who would like a bunch of those.
99
through
cents on
Alibaba.
eBay. I just saw them last night. Free
Yeah,
shipping.
we're trying to get them for pennies, so we can have those. But anyway, no, I just going to say congratulations to everybody, and I just finished getting a plumbing problem solved. And I asked the guy, "Hey, do you take Bitcoin?" He says, "What's that?"
Step into my
So I gave him
office.
That's right. It was close to it.
All right, that's
I
cool.
got a question.
Somebody has a question.
All right, go ahead.
This is DP, and first of all, I want to thank Kathy and John for all the help that they got me straightened out yesterday. And I got a question: is that because there is in the pools there is money there, why would I want to stay on reinvesting 100% instead of going ahead and taking and buying the third pool?
Well, you may want to do that. That's always an option for you. You can do that.
We just what we do is we show you different alternatives. There's a little better way you can strategize to get a little more bang for your buck. So the choice is always yours. That's it. You're always in control here. We've just learned how some people want to get really active and share this with the world. So we can show you in the compensation plans and stuff where you're paid a little higher percentage as you rank yourself, they call it.
Well,
Yeah,
DP, everybody's situation is a little bit different. Now, if somebody is having to use some of the coin that's being mined in order to accumulate that to buy their next position, that's fine. That's not a problem. But what you want to do is get to the point where you've got yourself structured, you've got your pools all set up, you're maximizing your potential, and then you want to keep that on 100% because the guys that are really generating an awful lot of Bitcoin cash flow always keep them on 100% because it pays you commissions. In other words, when you buy additional positions, you get a commission as a residual on that mining in those partial shares. And that commission can be as high as 18% of each one of those partial shares that you can then put back into your system or you can take out and use for cash. And it automatically increases your mining power by 5% every time you get an additional partial share, 5%. So if you start off with one share, your first partial share, now you've got 1.05 shares mining for you. The next partial share gives you 1.10 partial shares of mining power. So you're constantly compounding what you're getting. You're taking the funding and you're increasing your mining power so that you develop 2 shares and 3 shares and 4 shares in that account. You see, the entry level is very, very low, so that even a person of very modest means or just starting out in life can actually get into this thing and make it grow. We don't let people with a lot of money come in here and buy up the whole pool and try to control and monopolize it. This is really for the common guy, because what we want is an economy of people in the planet working together. We want everybody participating in this program as it grows. And so there's a path for everyone. Your path is going to be different than somebody else's.
Again, thanks again to both of you for all the help. I was trying to figure out what the strategy would be, is to take some of those funds and to buy that third pool. And
that's what we're talking about. Of course, you can do that, but it's going to take you a while because you're just starting. So what I would do is get more mining power first. I would get the mining power higher and higher so that you're mining more Bitcoin, which will accelerate your actual buildup of money to get the pool. Your best bet is referring people, because when you do that, you can increase your mining power. At the same time, you can actually get additional funds with which to get the pool. And one of the best ways is referring people who will take that pool itself, because the commissions that you would normally get for that pool would be pended until you actually obtain the pool. But if you refer enough people, those commissions will more than add up for the cost of the pool, and it will automatically buy that pool for you. You won't have to hunt for the money. So it's really better to refer people and do it that way.
Yes. Okay.
And with all the great stuff they've got coming out, that coin pay system, we cannot wait. Every business, it's open to every business in the world, basically. So we're very excited to learn more about that. Russ said he's concentrating on that here for the next couple months or so.
Well, that
So
new
that's-
phone coming out, we're going to be able to get
Oh,
commissions
yeah.
on that deal, on that phone. It's a totally encrypted phone with a hardware wallet in it. And there's a kill switch on the side that turns it off, except for people that you have whitelisted and you want to hear from. So it's very secure. Nothing can come in and out of that phone. It's really quite something.
And the wallets, that sounds really cool. You can have your Bitcoin in there, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, all the major ones, CoinPay or Club Coin.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said everything runs on the phone. This is a totally portable system, so you can have your bank with you at all times. But it's totally encrypted.
I'll keep my eye open for that. I just wanted to be public about coming out and really thanking you for the help that you guys gave me. So anyway, I'll mute out now.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
DP.
you. You're welcome. It's a pleasure working with all of you guys. It really is. There's not a greater bunch of people on the face of the earth. We have the most positive, upbeat people, and it's a pleasure to wake up every day. Don't have to go in and face some old grumpy CEO.
Well, I can be grumpy at a time. You know what, you guys, this is our retirement plan. We're helping you is how we're securing our future. So we're very glad to do it, much as we can do.
And with all the retirement plans failing, this is the best plan B we have ever seen. Just go to YouTube and put in pension crisis and see how many come up. This is stuff that you're not hearing on the mainstream media. People are losing their pensions that they've worked for all their lives. They're getting just a fraction of it. So, they're too old to go back to work and too damn tired, frankly. And, they can make up for what they're losing in their pensions by mining.
Yeah, they can actually get a better lifestyle than they had working all those years.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just really thankful that we were introduced to this club. Excuse me. And I think everybody here that's a member feels that way too. So
time to go.
Rock on, crush this. Go share it with the world, educate everybody about Bitcoin. And again, go to our website, joinbitcoinclub.com. And we've got several short videos down there. There's 2 by Andreas Antonopoulos. Listen to what the man says. He is he's a guru. He's just so down to earth and will break everything down to you about the Bitcoin world. You can see him on YouTube too. He's got his own channel. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for joining in tonight and sharing. And please get back to the person that brought you here tonight. They can give you more information or get you going if you're ready to rock and roll. And we will be back here when? Well, Thursday evening.
Training Thursday evening. Yeah, members training. Mm-hmm.
For our team. And then Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, we do another webinar. So have a great week, and we will see you then. Somebody's putting something in chat. Oh, you guys are all awesome. Yes, I agree. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.